everybody. I'm doing a session for a client, so I'm going to be sharing psychic wisdom and energy healing. If any of you are interested in exploring a session with me, please come visit me at my website at abbynormalswisdomquest.com. All right. Thank you so much for the opportunity to connect with you today. Thank you so much for sharing with others here on YouTube. All right, I'm going to read your goals and get started. Please focus on healing my hip and foot pain. Maybe there is a connection with my spleen. Okay. Hip pain, foot pain, and spleen. Okay. There's definitely a profound connection with your heart energy. I'm going to relax. Let's see what comes up here, okay? I'm going to explore all three of these. I'm going to start with your spleen, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to literally just touch your spleen with my hands. And it says, ouch, it's too hot to touch. However, it's cold to me. Maybe I'm too hot to the spleen. You know what I mean? Like, let's say the spleen is cold and my hands are too hot. And so I hear, oh, it's too hot to the touch. Like, when you pull the pizza out of the oven and dang it, you burn your hand in the process. Like, it's too hot, you know? So that's what's happening, okay? So let's explore this some more. There's a major insecurity here. And the spleen is really nervous and sensitive and uncomfortable. It's just squirmy, like a wiggle worm. And it doesn't want to stop wriggling, you know? The worm just keeps wriggling, and it's an earthworm out of its hole. Its safety is in the ground, you know? So when it's exposed in the sunlight, that's a very scary place to be, you know? And so it wriggles and tries to move itself back into the earth, you know? So I'm just holding your spleen. And I just say, shh. Like it's a little baby, and I say, it's okay. It's okay. Like, mama's got you. I'm here. You're safe and warm now. You are safe and warm now in my arms. And there's like, I don't believe you, okay? There is one side that is comforted and one side that says, I don't believe you. And it looks like black, kind of looks like coffee grounds that are all kind of mushed together. Okay. And what I do is I send warmth. And I just literally visualize the word warmth, and I just put it into your spleen, put it into your spleen, put it into your spleen. And I speak as your spleen, and I say, I am warm, I am safe, I am comforted. I am comfortable, I'm comfortable. I am calm, I am relaxed, I am safe, I am peaceful. I'm in no rush, no hurry. And again, there's this nasty sound. It just whips. It's like the whip cracking, and this nasty sound that just says, I don't believe you. You're a liar. You're a liar. You're lying to me. So I turn that whip into a being, and then I just hug that being for a while. And I say, it's okay to be angry. Thank you for expressing that anger with me. You just need to know that someone's here that cares. And I see that a shadowy version of yourself, and the only part that isn't shadow is your eyes that blink, okay, are white and black. And you say, I refuse to come back to myself. I will not come back to myself. I kind of laugh and say, yes, you will. I really don't believe you. Vibrationally, the energy says you will come back to yourself. Yeah, I'm trying to hold it, okay? I'm trying to maintain sensitivity. Okay. I just am honest with you. I'm like, you know what? When you say that, this is what you actually sound like. You sound like you're trying to hold on to being cold, but actually you're saying, I will come back. I'm coming back already. Yes, I'm coming back now. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. You are coming back to the warmth. This cold you. I can read between the lines. That was important. That was very important. Because you are opening up to yourself. Like a flower choosing to bloom in time. Like in the springtime. Not bloom too early and then the frost hits and you die. No, it's a perfect timing for flowers, and to enjoy being in bloom for a prolonged period and being so loved by all who get to enjoy your blossom. That is what you are becoming, in bloom, okay? Which is wonderful news, wonderful news. And I see your spleen is quite quickly enjoying, allowing itself to enjoy this. And shows me a picnic, and it's a dream come true. Literally, those are the words that come to me about this picnic. And there's a red and white checkered cloth on the ground. It's very old school looking. And it's like a boyfriend, girlfriend from high school going on a date with an actual picnic basket and everything. And they're kind of maybe 50s look to them. And they're trying to, they don't know each other well enough to just give into everything that they are. So they're being a little bit guarded in their personalities. All the while their hearts are fluttering with excitement because they're attracted to each other and they're on a date, you know? And ooh, what could happen? All right, we have to go through this image because it turns out to, I really don't like pickles, and I see that this date turns into an old rotten pickle, and you're in tears over this, and the tears are burning your face. They burn your skin. The tears are burning your actual skin, and your face is turning red, and there's steam coming out of your face, and you're on fire with the pain, all right? And it's the most disgusting old rotten pickle. I don't like fresh pickles. I definitely don't like old rotten pickles. It's the worst. That's good because it's your spleen is venting some things out, okay? That's a lot better. Lot better. Anything else, spleen, that you need to talk about? It's talking about the possibilities and doors opening and wanting to just focus on opening new doors for yourself in your life, new experiences, new things to put your mind to work at. And it makes you happy to be busy, okay, with your mind. And I mean, there's something joyful about it. and you want to create some doors to open and new opportunities. You want to put your energy into that, and you want to wrap your head around like a new project or new opportunities. I mean, that's literally what's coming to me. So your spleen's emanating that. And it feels good. I mean, it feels productive. It feels like it's coming from a place of, I'm ready for a fresh new start. And there's a relaxation to it. There's, you know how in life it can feel like, back to the old drawing board again? It doesn't feel that way. It feels like it's inviting to start over with some new thing that you can build, okay? It's kind of interesting because I keep seeing Lego sets, and they talk about what would you prefer, to be almost done building your brand new Lego set, or just starting fresh in the process of a new Lego set that you have all this enjoyable time to build this Lego thing. And it's exciting. It's exciting. I know for me, I like building Lego sets, and it's just fun. It isn't necessarily about the final creation. It's about the process of building them. I love the process of building Lego sets. It's literally not about the final outcome. It's literally all about the process. It's wonderful. It's a very satisfying experience. And this is aligned, okay? Opening new doors, opportunities is aligned with the joy of the process of building a Lego set for me, okay? So that's what it's vibrationally like. It's good. I mean, there isn't the propulsion of, bam, I'm so into this. You know, there's life in all the tangles and untangles that creates a human life, and all the learning involved. And it's a fresh new start. And so there's a bit of a sense of exhaustion, but it's not exhausted, and it's okay. So that's what your spleen is expressing next. It's really having a nice time just talking about these things. I feel like you needed to just know what your spleen energy is like, okay? I'm gonna go check on your hips now. Oh, okay. Let me ask the spleen if there was anything else it wanted to say. Or do you need anything from me? It's having a silent conversation. In the silent conversation, it's squishing out some dirt, okay? Like you've been cleaning for a while, and your washcloth is all like black and gross. It needs to get like washed and then wrung that dirt out. And so it's just squeezing out like a brownish colored dirt from its like the pores of the spleen. That's what it looks like. And it's talking to me in silence, and it's squishing this out at the same time. And it says that when I have an open environment to be myself and express myself how I need to express myself and to live in my own time, I feel wonderful. I feel wonderful. If it's like it wants to just say that, because you know the opposing side. If you have to be careful of what you say, or work through vulnerable feelings or resistance, or work around other people's schedules and stuff, it's more resistance to just being free to be who you are. And the spleen says, I really like when I'm free to be who I am, without anything in the way of me just getting to be myself and speak as myself and do the things that I want to do, and in my own time that I want to do it. I just want, and I love having that freedom. I enjoy it. And the more the spleen talks about it, it's like sucking in the good juices of that experience. And it's just sucking in what is like this soapy energy, and it's cleaning itself out with very positive juices. And it's swishing and swirling and scrubbing and bubbling, and it's getting happier and happier and happier with this vision of just getting to be myself. And it feels more and more wonderful, and you start to feel more grounded, more tuned into who you are, more embracing of the things that make you thrive in life, more encouragement to be free to be that. Spleen is getting really positive and sending really happy vibes to all the other organs to reactivate them. Because it seems like there's been a sleepy time, and you're really wanting to. It's like the pop that loses its bubbles. Now the bubbles are coming back, and it's a much more exciting pop, when it has the bubbles. So the spleen is sending the bubbles back into all the other organs, and they start to feel more alive. All right. Again, there's squirting out of brownish stuff. And the spleen gives me a nod and says that it can take it from here. So let me go check your hips, okay? I'm gonna take your hips and just turn them into an energy body, okay? So I can talk to them, see what they're like as a person. I'm gonna turn your hips into a person and see what they're like. Can't wait to talk to your hips. Okay, let's see. Oh, I see an old woman, and she's very dried up. And it's actually quite interesting artwork, because you have a very articulated face, just a portion of it. Then you have cracked parts and blurry parts. And parts of it are made out of bones that are just basically thin flakes of it are coming off, and it's like age. All right, it's all about age, aging. And there's no, you emanate to me like beautiful places in Europe where they're restored from aging, and so people can enjoy these historical locations in more of like a pristine state. They're not falling into the ground, but you basically emanate to me that there's nothing I can do about this aging. I have to live with it. And this really bothers you. If people can refurbish houses, why can't my hips be refurbished? And I say, well, you haven't really given me a chance to try. But you're actually expressing to me that you've already decided that this is the rest of your life. However, you're doubting that it has to be like this. So you're living in a state of, it's always going to be like this, but it doesn't have to be, and I don't understand why it has to be. So you're arguing with your statement that this is the rest of my life. You're arguing with the statement that this is the rest of my life, but you're not just getting rid of that statement and the argument altogether and saying, this isn't the rest of my life. I'm open to, this isn't the rest of my life. I'm open to refurbishing my hips, refurbishing my hips. Refurbish them, Abby, refurbish them for me. Let me refurbish them, but you have to state that. Okay, you have a subconscious self, very loud, that loves the beauty of age and has learned a great many things through the suffering of a decaying body. You put it that way. You say it like that. She's beautiful. She's wise. She says, she talks about a lifetime where she started, it's kind of like everybody goes through these phases. As they get older, they notice their age. And she noticed her age. She wasn't so much focused on her face as she was focused on the aches and the pains and the little things as they would build up. She even lost teeth, had to have teeth removed. And every part of the process of her body dying year after year after year was a gift from God, she said. And I mean, she literally shows me the suffering of having your tooth pulled. And I mean, this is like a back in the day scenario where you gotta just grit it and bear it, right? You just gotta deal with it. And she cried because of the pain, but she was so proud of herself. And there was this powerful euphoria she felt from having endured and survived that process of having a tooth pulled that was in a lot of pain. And she wasn't so much focused on her face or her appearance as she was on her body. And maybe she didn't have a mirror. I mean, maybe she didn't look at a reflection in the pond or something like that. But she keeps showing me that the different sensations in the body as she aged were beautiful to her, and the challenges she had to overcome to endure those physical states. And she loved herself even more every time she went through the next thing. And she's so strong and how self-loving through the process of aging is very hard. It's going to be very hard for you to override her, because the you of today is going to be like, get lost, lady. I want nothing to do with that. I want to have young hips for the rest of my life. Screw that. I'm going to defy this aging process. So it's going to be hard for you, because she's very powerful and full of light, and the learning of, she is like a saint. I mean, you can't defy the saint of your subconscious selves. Like, she is powerful and she's beautiful. She's incredible. So let's figure out a different way around this, okay? Because we can value her life, and we can value her for the way she lived her life. And we can live it in our way now. We can live it in our way now, right? You lived it in your way, and I love you for that. And I'm grateful, because I have a feeling I'm going to be learning things from you in this life. I want to do it in my way now. I want to do it in my way. She bows and she blows you a kiss, okay? And she says she'll always be here for you whenever you need her. Whenever you're struggling, she will be here for you, okay? And she kind of circulates and just disappears, okay? And you're like, phew, I can do it my way. Oh, that's a load off. It really feels like you're in conflict with aging. Not just the hips, but just aging, okay? It's very hard for me to heal your hips, because there is a lot of conflict here in your relationship with aging. It just doesn't stop. And I can't calm these echoes fast enough to actually get to the root of what's actually going on with your hips, because there's so much noise that you're creating in here over this. So I'm going to turn your hips back into your hips, and I'm just going to touch them, okay? And as I touch your hips, I have many hands that touch all your lower organs, like your bladder and your divine feminine space, and just sending light, okay? There's just a massive boulder that just comes out the backside, just plops onto the ground. And it's just a heavy weight you're releasing. And so I'm going to go into the friction you have with healing your hips. It's really like somebody took white powder and smeared it across the left side of your face. And so I'm going to go into that smear. And I see a woman who's screaming. And she's yelling at somebody who isn't hearing them. That's why she starts yelling louder and louder and louder and louder and louder. Because this person is not hearing her. So in order for this person to hear her, she must speak louder. So she's getting infinitely louder forever. And this person still can't hear her. I feel sad for you here in this scene. It's actually hilarious to look at. It's really funny because it's like you keep talking louder. It's like, why are you doing that? Stop. You don't have to. Just stop, you know? You won't stop. And it's actually kind of hilarious because it's so extreme and ridiculous. But I can't deny it makes me feel sad because you desperately want to be actually heard, not just heard, received in the awareness of what you're saying, for it to be deeply received and absorbed, understood completely. It's interesting this is connected to me being able to heal your hips. I'm just continuing to neutralize the sound of this screaming. It's overwhelming the heart and the stomach, like the emotional gut. Because I have to get it to quiet down and then reverse it. And I have to give you a new level of self-awareness in order to just stop this. It just needs to stop. And when I reverse it, it's quickly reversing and it's starting to eat itself from the inside out. And so when it's not screaming on the outside externally, when it goes internal, it starts to eat you from the inside out. And you can't get it to the equilibrium. So it's always the extreme on the inside or the extreme on the outside, and it's very hard to get it into the equilibrium. This is affecting your hips, believe it or not. I have to stay with the hips. I was like, okay, let me go check on the feet because I'm pretty interested to see what the feet have to do, what the hips have to do with the spleen, because this stuff usually is always interconnected. If you're attracted to healing these parts of you, that's because they're all interconnected in this weird relationship. But they're saying just stay with the hips for now. So I'm going to. I'm just going to touch the scene. I'm not going to touch the you that's struggling to find the equilibrium or the person not listening. I'm just going to touch the scene and send light into it. And I say this light is giving you the strength to choose the equilibrium now and to state I am in the equilibrium of my emotions when it comes to desperately needing to be heard and then feeling consumed by not being heard, hurting myself internally. I have the strength to choose the equilibrium. I am at the equilibrium. There's nothing left here. Interestingly enough, I can't say interestingly enough. So the smear is actually turning into the joint between your hip and your leg bone, okay? And it's like a ball socket, and then just putting light into it. Oh, wow. So much better. I'm exhausted. This is so much better. I just took that really loud noise and silenced it. I'm just putting living energy into the joints, sockets, okay, in your hip and your leg bones. I'm just doing it on both sides, the right and left sides, okay? living active energy, living active energy, creative energy, living active energy. Rebuilding your relationship between your leg and your hip. Like it's a relationship here. Rebuilding it. And there's another nasty, squishy, liquidy. It's like a lemon juice, but it's very acidic. And it's burning the joint. And it's just burning, like singeing, like on fire, singeing, burning. And your eyes could literally, like laser beams, are gonna cut through the strongest metal, you know? And there's all these pockets of weird bubbles now, and sticky black goo and acidic energy that's burning away at your hips, your joints. And you don't care about yourself. It's like this you, the energy here, doesn't care. It is so acidic and is so burning, and it knows that it is hurting your physical body, but it doesn't care. Therefore, it doesn't care about itself. Therefore, you, on some level, don't care about yourself in a way, okay? I guarantee we all have something like this somewhere, but this is a lot of unresolved anger, bitter anger. She's very like a viper, like a queen cobra. She's really fast and lethal strike and will kill you. She hates you, therefore she hates herself. So what does she hate exactly about herself? What does she hate about you? What then does she hate about herself? She needs to have control, and when she doesn't have control, then it's like, all right, okay. Have you ever had this experience before where you have a powerful plan, a powerful idea, and for whatever reason, if you could just run the show with this one, right? Run the show, it's going to benefit everybody. Everybody's going to win here. But for some reason, some jerk ends up influencing people and saying they've got it together, and then actually steps on you and squishes you into the ground, and then you disappear. It's like there's something to this very simple scenario that isn't quite the bitter lethal level that this is. It's like I need it. Like this idea that's going to benefit everybody. It's more like I am going to run the show. It will be my way, or else. And if it's not my way, then screw all of you people. It's going to be my way anyway. It's like, just, it will be your way. You are the queen cobra. It will be your way or else. So have you become the jerk that squishes everybody else into the ground because it has to be your way? So that's what she represents. It's interesting conflict in here, because there does seem to be a wholehearted goodness. The one with the good idea squished into the ground becomes the jerk that squishes others. Something odd about this. Bitterness and its relationship here. Okay, so let's keep looking at this. Yeah, she's calming down. I don't know if I quite put my finger on it. That's the closest I can do. But it is helping, because she's calming down significantly, and she shows me how beautiful she is. She has super long white hair, and it's really thick, and it's incredible looking. It's like she's an elf of the highest level. She has perfect skin. She has perfect posture, perfect walk towards me. Everything about her is just flawless. And then something snaps and I hear a broken bone and something is lost inside of herself. And what becomes of her is what remains, which is this queen cobra. And she can't ever become whole again. I say thank you for saying those things. Thank you for talking about this. I say you're wrong. You are whole. Why did you let yourself or decide that you lost something? Why did you do that? Because I'm looking at you and I'm seeing you whole, and then you choose to snap the bone of yourself and then lose yourself, and then what remains is the queen cobra. That's all your own weird creation. That wasn't even real. You are whole. I need you to say this: I am whole now. I am whole. I always have been whole. I am whole now. I am whole. Like, let's really emphasize the wholeness here. Oh, this is releasing out some nasty buildup, and it's blubbery, bloody, gross, like afterbirth, gross. It's just, it looks like it hurts, okay? And there's a lot of really painful echoes about this. Twisted parts of yourself that got lost in the twistedness and became monsters, basically. And then felt good being monsters, wanted to keep being monsters. And while they're strong and in their stance, they're scary. I mean, they're intimidating for sure. They're hurting you as well. They have to stop, because it doesn't make you stronger to become a monster that's intimidating. It actually is your greatest weakness. You know what's cool? You start to emanate this beautiful golden light, and you say, I want to shed this skin. It's full of too much pain. And your guides nod. Usually we reconcile that pain, but this one is meant to be removed and just be the afterbirth. We just let it go back to the earth or wherever it needs to go in the universe. And so that you can feel whole, because you want to be yourself. And the spleen is really happy, because the spleen emanates the same message. It wants to be warm and bright and happy and youthful. And it's like maybe you're going through an epiphany about your life, and maybe you didn't get to make the most of your youthful self. And you want more time as that part of who you are. And now I see this one that accepted the pain of aging is holding you and saying, you can't stop time, you can't go back, and you don't want to. You don't want to do that. Don't. And she touches your hips, your joints. And there's a weird white, it's some kind of substance. It does act like a liquid, and it also acts dry. And it's just being removed. And she shows me that she's putting the light of your heart and the beauty of your soul into the joints between the relationship with your hip and your legs. Like, it's going into these joints here. It's going into your vertebrae. It's going into your bones themselves. All your bones. And you're starting to glow. And you're breathing peacefully. This is what I meant to share. Thank you very much for this experience. Just take your time, okay? I feel like there's a lot of goodness going on here. And I know that the Queen Cobra emanation, don't think too hard about it. Just hold her in your imagination. Know she's already been held and she's been healed. And a lot of that old stuff has just gone back to the earth or to the sun or wherever it's guided to go. And that you are whole again. And that love is being put into the relation between your hips and joints, like all that area and vertebrae. It's the love that heals you, right? That you give to yourself, that you receive from yourself. And that's what helps you feel bright and beautiful, no matter what your age is. All right. Thank you. And thank you everybody for watching. And I hope you all have a great day.